Good morning, fellow Soroptimists. I congratulate Soroptimist International of KALIBO for your response to the global call to end violence against women and children. I also laud Soroptimist clubs in the entire Philippines region for actively participating in the activities of the annual 18-day campaign to end violence against women in the respective localities. During this time of crisis, violence against women and children increases. Pandemics such as COVID-19 create challenging conditions that exacerbate the risk of violence against women and children and the challenges to implementing prevention programming due to the restrictions brought about by the pandemic. To cite some examples, households may be facing financial strains from loss of employment, income, and other assets. Traditional gender roles dictate that men should provide for their families. This reality can create a sense of inadequacy, uncertainty, and loss of control, provoking the assertion of power, including through violence towards their partners or spouses, children, or others living in the household. Families subject to quarantine, isolations, and physical distancing, coupled with increased domestic and care burdens, may experience tensions, stress, anxiety, and mental health problems. This alone can contribute to increased conflict and quarreling, which escalate to abuse. As prevention efforts adapt to deliver programming through online modalities, women and children are at even greater risk of experiencing abuse in this space. Since internet use during this pandemic have increased between 50% and 70%, women and children are subject to online violence in the form of physical threats, sexual harassment, stalking, Zoom bombing, and sex trolling, among other forms. Pornographic traffic has also spiked dramatically, bringing about the risk of sextortion. Services that are critical to mitigating risks such as mental health and substance abuse might not be available or may be severely strained, as this kind of services may not be considered essential during this time of pandemic. Restrictions on mobility, bans on congregating, and suspension of work, school, faith, and social engagements has interrupted prevention programming, which rests heavily on long-term, intensive dialogue and human interactions, including through community mobilization, livelihood, and economic empowerment initiatives. Prevention, therefore, is even more pressing at this time, given the very risk factors that are being intensified as a result of COVID-19, causing spikes in violence against women and children today, with rolling effects to be expected in the aftermath. This webinar, therefore, is most timely and appropriate to make every one of us realize how important it is for us to express our strong condemnation in words and in our actions to prevent violence against women and children, which is a gross violation of human rights. On behalf of Soroptimist International of the Americas Philippines region, I congratulate you once again, SI KALIBO, for your unconditional commitment to our mission of uplifting the lives and protecting the rights of women and children in our local communities and throughout the world. Maraming salamat po.